Hey, it's Maxwell here. I thought I'd just take you through my song, Midwest. I watch a lot of these deconstruction videos, not just music, but also from artists and painters and screenwriters. So I thought I'd add to the noise and to my own, because it's interesting to see how different people do their process, I think. So yeah, this is my song, Midwest. It sounds a little bit like this. But it's late and it's cold and I think I wanna bowl. I wanna rent a car and drive across the Midwest. It was just... You get the idea. So a few things influenced this song. So the first thing that happened was my friend Emerson lent me his Hofner bass guitar, which looks a little bit like this. Yeah, he lent it to me over the summer back in 2018, and I was playing it every day, and it really kind of changed the trajectory of where my music headed because I was just having so much fun playing it. And a lot of what I was doing was recording bass parts and pitching it up an octave and layering it, almost making kind of like guitar parts that you wouldn't normally come up with on a guitar, but they still kind of sound like guitar. And the other thing that happened was I was at the grocery store and I heard Viva La Vida by Coldplay come on, and I love the album that song's on. It was like one of my favorites growing up, and the Brian Eno and John Hopkins production is really, really cool, and it's really diverse. We could talk about it for a while, but I won't. But yeah, I always really didn't like that song Viva La Vida. I'd always skip it. I was like, oh, it's so boring. It's just kick and strings and vocal, like, I don't know, just give me something more. But yeah, at the grocery store, I heard it and I was like, oh, this song's actually genius. It's so simple and it's so captivating. It's just kick drum, strings and vocal, and it was a hit, and it's really pleasant. And I went home and I studied the song for like a week. I was playing it in the car, playing it in the house, thinking about kind of what made it tick. And one night I was kind of spread out in the lounge room of my parents' house because they were overseas, and I was sitting on the floor and I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to copy Viva La Vida, but what I want to do is I want to look at the parameters that make up that song, and I want to try and do my own take using the parameters. So some of the parameters I thought of was, the obvious one is like using a 4-on-the-floor kick drum and just trying to make a song just around the kick. Which to me was a bit of a challenge because I usually like to layer my drums. And I was like, I'm not going to do the French Revolution orchestra thing, but I've been playing this bass guitar a lot. I might try and do a song that's just bass guitar and kick drum. And there was a couple other things. I put up Viva La Vida here. It's got quite a wordy chorus. It's almost like a vocal phrase is the chorus. And there's not really that much repeating melody except for when the chorus happens again. And I really like that. It's hard to make something catchy that isn't just a hook. And they did that really well. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I tried to write a chorus that had quite a few phrases going on. And the other thing was, after the first chorus, there's a section in Viva La Vida. I've just pitched it up because I don't want to get copyrighted, but this is what it sounds like. That was when I ruled the Yeah, I love that part a lot. I talk about it a lot to my friends. But again, that was kind of like another parameter. I was like, after the choruses, I'd love to have something that's really kind of, it almost doesn't belong, and it's really interesting and bold and instrumental. So yeah, there were the 4 parameters that I set myself, and I got started. So yeah, here's the session. The first thing that I did was I recorded this bass guitar, which sounds like this. It's just a little riff. I played it, a couple of times till I got it, and pretty harshly EQ'd. I think the thing that makes it really cool is this Valhalla Space Modulator plugin, the very echo preset without it. And with it. So yeah, I recorded that, and I got a kick drum going, and then I layered this bass guitar. was like, cool, that's enough to go on. So I started to, I voice memo ideas on my phone and just see what melodies come. And I actually found the original voice memo from that night, and it sounds like this. And I can't even go. You tell me what I want to know. So I was just playing with melodies, and then I recorded the verses, which sound like this. Out of luck, only got one buck, and my friends always feeling stuck. Yeah, I think I can't remember if I came up with the chorus that night or the next morning, but I pretty much wrote the whole song. Just a bass line, that little riff, the kick drum and the vocal. And I was like, okay, let's, I have so many little spaces in this song to fill with little loops and little noises. And that's definitely my favorite thing when, like with producing. So one of the first things I did was this little piano. Which is actually that's a recording of my friend's little Casio keyboard on like the piano setting, and I just found one note and made that piano loop. And the big thing that kind of rides this track are all these little guitar parts. So firstly there's this. And there's also this one. Now if I take this recording, my friend Rutger, who has a project called The Nicholas, he is probably the biggest collaborator on this album that I've been working on. And he'll just send me recordings of sound. Sometimes it's guitar parts, sometimes it's keyboard parts. And this was from his sampler, his like 404 sampler, and he was just actually I think I might have recorded this myself actually. He was just trying to find something to give me for a song, and I made this recording because every time I'm with him I hit record straight away because I know that I want to capture whatever he's about to feed out, because everything he makes is really beautiful. So yeah, he gave me this recording. I'll just turn off these things for a second. Like totally like a bunch of random different sounds. But there's one here, have you heard that? So I heard that and I was like, oh, that's such an interesting little part. So that kind of became one of the main parts of the song, which sounds like this. Yeah, I really like trying to find just things that you would never think of playing, but they make a lot of sense in the space that you give them. Another thing that I heard within that recording that I took of Rutger was this at the end. And so every time that the chorus comes in, I have that and I've placed on it like an echo boy delay, really simple. Sounds like this. I've got like found a little bell. This is also from those recordings, this sound. And this. I made this on like a little Porter Sound keyboard, again, just like a really cheap keyboard. Just, yeah, there's a lot of sounds going on here. I'll talk about the percussion for a little bit. A big thing that I really wanted to achieve with this next music was I wanted to have drums that had kind of like an air to them, where they felt like they were coming from a room. And yeah, just like sometimes you just layer samples and it sounds really dead and uninviting. And so a lot of times I would try and find a recording that has air to it. I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, it has air to it, and I layer it with things that add body to it. So these are the drums that come in the second chorus. And that's where a clap comes in. So these are the drums. So what you'll hear is I have this clap loop, which sounds like this. And that has the air to it. It feels like it's in a room. And the way that the Ableton picks up the transients, it's kind of like, it warbles a little bit, which I really like too. And then I layered that with this, which is like just a really simple electronic clap. And then these claps, which are like clap recordings that I played in on my keyboard, like my computer keyboard one at a time, to make them feel a bit more human. So together, there's a little tambourine underneath there, and a rim that my friend George put in there. And these hi-hats, tambourine. My friend Joey had this little idea to kind of put these little in-between notes in between the hi-hats. I'm not explaining it super well, but it's really quiet, but it kind of gives it this really quick energy towards the end of the song. So if you have a listen, I'm talking about these notes right here. And then when there's the tambourine lead on top of it, and then in context with all the other drums, yeah, it just makes it feel, it gives it a lot of movement. That's pretty much the drums. Again, I was like, I just want to do a kick drum for this song, and then at the end of the song I kind of cheated a little bit, but for the most part it's the kick, and that was the parameter. Like whatever feels good, hey? And then the other big thing of the track is this synth lead that happens after the choruses. I made a song with my friend Lonely Speck in the middle of 2018, which sounds like this. 'Cause you are always looking out for me. And you are always looking out for me. You are always looking. It's kind of cool. It's cool. But yeah, Sione, who is Lonely Speck, they placed in this synth part, and the way that they draw in notes and get glides is super unique. I haven't found anyone that does it quite like they do. And something that I do a lot is when I make a song that I think is like kind of cool but like could be better, I'll take note of what is within that song that I do really like, and I write really big lists. I'll be like, track number 60, I like the drums, I like the synth, and then maybe I'll be like, oh, the vocal could be better. And I write these huge lists of songs that I've made. And so every time I go to make a new song, I can look back on my cataloging and I can pull out synth parts or drums that I've liked from other ideas that aren't going to make the cut. And so for this song, I think I was like, you have to use this synth lead somewhere else. And so every time I make a song and there's a space for it, I'll put it in, see if it works. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I'll just keep it in mind for the next time. And I dropped in the synth lead that Lonely Speck made, and it fit perfectly. So that's this part up here. Oh, where is it? Here it is. And I put like some reverb on it, and it's actually really simple. So full credit to Lonely Speck. But yeah, I had to slow it down a lot, and I pitched it up 3 semitones, which I don't know, sometimes can kind of kill the way that something sounds, but it just, in my ears at least, it worked really well. Probably the other couple little things in the song that just gave it a lift was the Nicholas, my friend Raka, he recorded some acoustic guitars that happened in the second chorus in this part. Yeah, he's the king of just really nice sounding acoustic guitars. And the other thing I did was, coming into that second chorus, I used this cassette tape hiss, and I rolled all the lows off it and its sidechained as well. And it's really quiet, but it just kind of gives this like high-end lift to the chorus. You might not even be able to hear it, but yeah, it's just little things like that that just like, it's like deceptively a very simple song, but there's just like a lot of little parts in it that just kind of like keep the dynamics lifting throughout the song. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll highlight this. My friend George did this really cool synth, just on a VST. I can't even remember what he used, but you can kind of hear it at the end of the song here. Yeah, that's the song. It's pretty simple, but yeah. Maybe that helped. I don't know. Thank you.